The world is your runway.
Hi you guys, so welcome back to my channel. Listen you guys, I am desperately trying to record this and just like be natural and just like talk to you. But it's like when I see that recording button go on, I just like, bitch, I turn into like a robot or something. And I don't want that. I just want to be authentic and real, you know? I just want to be real, okay? I'm real, you guys. But enough chit chat. Let's get into the topic of this video, which is, are All-Stars winners real winners, and should they be included on the All Winners season? So in this video, I'm going to be covering my feelings on an All-Stars win versus a... Bitch, was that an airplane? I'm sorry. Y'all, the ADD, it's really kicking in. But I'm going to be giving my feelings on an All-Stars win versus a main season win, and how I feel about them being included on All-Stars 7. And then if y'all want to stick around, I'm also going to give my thoughts on each cast member of All-Stars 7 and what I think their storyline might be, you know, stuff like that. So stick around if you want to see that, but otherwise, let's get into the main topic. Okay, so the original reason I actually had the idea to make this video was I've been seeing a lot of discourse online about All-Stars winners being included on the season and them not being real winners. You know, people being like, where's Bob? Where's Bianca? Where's Alaska? Which is ironic because I'm like, bitch, Alaska is an All-Stars winner. Like, what is the disconnect? Why is it that we see some All-Stars winners as lesser winners or not real winners, but with Alaska it's fine? Or just like some people saying this is like the B list of winners, which I really just completely disagree with. I think this is a super stacked cast. I'm so excited for this season. So I guess I already spoiled what my thoughts are. I 100% think All-Stars winners are real winners, and I'm just so excited for this season. But I'd like to try and convince some of y'all who maybe you're on the fence about All-Stars winners being included, that I think that they 100% are real winners and they deserve a spot on this season. So let's get into that. So if any of you guys have listened to Bob and Monet's podcast, you will know that they have actually had this conversation many times, and it is never not funny and entertaining. I really recommend you all go listen to it. But, you know, they talk about which is more impressive, an All-Stars win or a regular season win, and which is harder. You know, I tend to side with Monet that an All-Stars win is more impressive, but, you know, I'll let you guys come to your own conclusion after this. But, you know, it has really come down to 4 main categories for me. Those 4 main categories I have written down are cast, experience, format, and episode count. You know, on All-Stars, you're not really going to be seeing queens like, let's say, Serena Chacha, or wait. Actually, no, as it turns out, you will be seeing Serena Chacha on All-Stars, so scratch that. But you're not going to be seeing queens like, I don't know, let's say Orion Story or Penetration. No shade, but you know, normally they try to have these really stacked casts for All-Stars. Or they try to have queens who have really grown since their original season. Think Roxy Andrews, Katya, Detox, Valentina, Shangela. I could go on and on. Which brings me to the first main point, which is cast. On a regular season, you're not going to be seeing that. You're going to be seeing a lot of fresh faces mixed with a lot of seasoned queens, and you're gonna immediately see the distinction between the seasoned queens and the fresh faces or the newbies who maybe don't have as much drag experience under their belt. All-Stars seasons are stacked, and they're trying to get the best of the best, or the queens who have really grown since their original season. And so I don't see how you can sit here and say that an All-Stars win isn't as impressive when you just look at the cast and you can clearly see that the All-Stars queens have way more experience under their belt than the queens on a regular season tend to have going into the competition. You know, queens who get on All-Stars, they have been touring the world and making money, and they can really, you know, fulfill what the show is asking of them when it comes to runways, when it comes to all these different things that the show requires of you. All-Stars are much more equipped to handle that, and so you get into this situation with All-Stars where everybody is so well-rounded, and it's really a cast of peers, and there is no, for lack of a better word, a booger, except for you, Serena. Moving on. And next, we are moving right on along to format. And you guys, I get it. Let's be real. On a regular season, you are praised for being the best of the best. And that's how you move on in the competition, by excelling in the challenges. And when you do find yourself in the bottom, you are able to defend your spot in the competition by lip syncing for your life. And on All Stars, that really just isn't the case. When you land in the bottom on All Stars, you are completely powerless and your agency is completely stripped from you. Your fate is left into the hands of the other queens, and you're just left there to sit and wait for their decision. And a lot of times, if you're the front runner and you end up in the bottom, it's in the other queen's best interest to send you home. So it creates a space on All Stars where a lot of time the strongest competitor is going to get sent home. And I can see where people can say, oh, well, the person who won was not the strongest competitor because Manila went home, or Jimbo went home, or Pangina went home, And I think that's completely valid, but it doesn't take into account, the strategy of sending home the strongest competitor and being able to excel in challenges but not get sent home or not land in the bottom. Alaska didn't land in the bottom until that last episode, versus Monet landed in the bottom, but there was always somebody who was worse in the challenge than she was. Or Trinity only landed in the bottom once. Monet and Trinity still won lots of challenges on their season, versus Manila, who pretty much steamrolled in the beginning. But Manila was not playing a smart game, and she did not make those alliances. And the fact that both Monet and Naomi picked Manila says a lot about the alliances she was making in the game. And I want to note that when people talk about format screwing queens over, they're almost always talking about All-Stars seasons, but it's not like this is unprecedented on a regular season. Think back to season 9 with the lip sync for the crown twist. This was the first time we had ever seen a lip sync for the crown, and up until that point, everybody and their mom thought that Shea Coulee was going to win, and rightfully so. She had 4 wins and she was the front runner. But Sasha Velour came in, she was strategic, she knew exactly what she needed to do to win that lip sync, and rightfully so, won the lip sync against Shea and the whole season. Nobody ever comes for Sasha's win, because Sasha's a very talented queen and she slayed that season and she slayed that finale. She played within the rules of the game and she won, just like Monet and Trinity did. So it's just funny that Sasha is not viewed as, oh, well, the strongest competitor was screwed over by the format, because she still slayed, and that's that. So, do you know what I'm saying? It just seems kind of disjointed, the perception of the fan base. And lastly, I just wanted to note episode count. This is really inconsequential, and I don't really see too many people talking about it online. But, in general, All-Star seasons are shorter, so I can see how maybe someone would say, oh, your season was shorter, so you had less opportunity to fail, but it's also you have less opportunities to succeed as well. But I really think that's a non-point, and you have longer All-Star seasons like All-Star 6 with 12 episodes. So, yeah, let's just move on from that. Alright, so overall, I hope I might have convinced some of you that an All-Star season is just as, if not harder, than a main season, and that, in my opinion, they absolutely should be included in an all-winner season. I will say, I do get that it is probably more impressive to win the first time, but with that being said, you really have to consider that on an All-Star season, what it takes, it just balances out. And I mean, some of the greatest winners come from All-Star seasons. Alaska, Trixie, Monet, Shea. These are some of the most uber successful careers we've seen from queens after winning the show. And I feel like they all still are in the collective consciousness today. So now that that's out of the way, I'm going to be going through the cast of All-Star 7 and, giving my thoughts and rating their outfits, talking about potential storylines. So if you want to stick around for that, let's get on to it. Alright, y'all, first up is Shea Coulee. I'll admit, when I first saw that Shea was on the cast, I was kind of gagged, I was okay, she literally just won her season. But, the more I thought about it, the more it kind of made sense to me. She's coming off of the high of winning her season. And, I would imagine a lot of these queens who were asked were probably okay, there's probably not going to be another all-winners season. And, I think Shea is somebody who's very apt to compete. And I'll be honest, on season 5 of All-Stars, Shea didn't do bad, but I wouldn't say that she absolutely slayed it like she slayed season 9. But I think the Shay that we're going to be getting on All-Star 7 is going to be that season 9 Shay. In terms of storyline, I don't see any significant storylines with the other queens. You know, I know she was on season 9 with Trinity, but to me, I really just think like her storyline on the season is just going to be about being competitive and like being ready to just slay. Like, I truly think that. For her outfits, girl, her All-Stars 7 promo, this look is so beautiful. It's just dripping in crystals. Her makeup gets better every single time I see her. As for her entrance look, you know, I thought of what Monet wore for the All-Stars 5 lip sync versus Jujubee, and Shay calls her a chocolate dreamsicle, and I was like, Shay saw Monet's outfit on that episode and was like, I'm gonna wear that for my entrance. And as you know, every single Drag Race YouTube channel has their own version of the toot or boot, and on my channel, I'm going to be enacting the look into law, or vetoing it, which means, bitch, it is not getting past Congress, okay? For Shay's look, I am enacting this look. It is so good. Bitch, it's moving on to fucking law, period. The next queen on is Jada Essence Hall, and, you know, again, I was really shocked, you know, I was like, it is so soon after her original season, but again, if you think about it, it makes sense. Jada's whole season was overshadowed by COVID, and then her whole reign was overtaken by COVID. You know, she literally won in her living room. Not to mention the whole Sherry Pie situation that overshadowed her season. So this was really an opportunity for her to slay Drag Race and not have other things that are going on in the world overshadow what she's doing on the season. And I think we're just going to get even more excellence from Jada. You know, she has had some of my favorite looks of all time on Drag Race. And, you know, talking about these looks, oh my goodness, her promo is so good. I absolutely love the leggings. You know, that little, the overlap, I don't know what you call that. I never really noticed shoes, but these shoes I noticed. These are such cute shoes. And I believe I'm spotting a red bottom. As for the entrance look, you know, it's cute, it's sparkly, but I wasn't like wowed. I mean, it is different for Jada, so I'm going to be ranking all the looks as a whole, I forgot to mention, and these looks as a whole, I am enacting it. Next up is Evie Oddly, and her addition makes sense here. I think that producers are probably hoping that she's going to stir up a little bit of drama and be as confrontational as she was on her original season, which I could maybe see that happening. I don't know if she's like, I don't really think she cares about rebranding her image or repairing her image. You know, she won the show. People like her. I think she's still going to be herself, but she has said that she thrives on competition, and I think this is going to be no different. She only had one win on season 11, and it was a shared win. So I think coming back, she really wants to win more challenges. I think that she was a very conceptual queen on her season, and she was doing shit that none of the other queens were doing. But I don't think she had the resources to really pull all of these looks off in a polished way. Not saying they were bad in her original season, but now she has the resources to like make her concepts come to life. And I'm so excited to see what she brings. As for these looks, her promo look, it's just so different from the rest of the cast, but it's so cute. I loved the shoes. I really liked the goggles, the short hair. I love her makeup. Same thing with her entrance look. She has the complementary colors with the purple and yellow. It's just so good. It's so her. I'm definitely going to enact this look. Now moving on to our All-Stars 4 winner. Or is it winners? You know, I really can never tell with the All-Stars 4 winners. I'm like, are y'all one collective winner? Or two separate winners? You know, y'all both won the same season. But, you know, Monet and Trinity. People hate the double win. You know, I've grown to love it. Monet is one of my favorite winners. I think she has just done so much after winning All-Stars 4. She had her own talk show. She has her podcast. You know, she's been featured on Paramount Plus ads. She is really doing the damn thing. And to have the double winners come back, it just does so much for the storyline of the season. Like, I honestly think this is the biggest comeback storyline since Alyssa and Coco. I have to think when they were doing this double win, I'm like, did y'all know they were going to do an all-winner season? Because this just seems so perfect to have this tiebreaker storyline. And I'm not sure if it's going to be focused on, you know, I'm sure it has to be addressed at some point in the season. As for Trinity, her performance has always been very consistent. She's always slayed her seasons, but to me, she's never really stood out, and I'm wondering if she's gonna get lost in the crowd on this all-winter season. As for her looks, I'm absolutely loving this promo look. She literally looks like Tinkerbell. Like, she looks so good. Like, I honestly didn't even connect with this look when I first saw it, but I find myself, I keep coming back to it and looking at it. As for this entrance look, I was a bit perplexed. I literally did not know who it was when she walked in. I was like, literally, who is that bitch? It just doesn't really scream Trinity. It's not a bad look. You know, overall, as a whole, for both of these looks, I'm definitely going to have to enact it. You know, I'm going to enact these looks. They look so good. They're going to law. But it's just a really weird choice for her entrance look. I feel like maybe she was trying to do something different. I'm not sure it paid off. Moving on to Monet. She has always had a very inconsistent performance on Drag Race. But, you know, like, when she does it, she does it. You know, that high streak on season 10 was so good, and she came so close to winning so many challenges, and it was just her runways that were holding her back. And then, literally, like, a couple months later, she comes back to All Stars and absolutely kills it. When I'm thinking about Monet coming back, I'm like, she has had years of growth, she has the resources to buy fantastic costumes, and she has the confidence of a winner. Like, I don't think people understand. I think some people are sleeping on Monet. I just feel like she's going to come back and be a front runner and absolutely slay this season. As for her looks, I gotta say, you guys, I was a bit disappointed when I first saw her promo look. You know, I was thinking it was going to be something a bit more extravagant. Monet explained that when she was making this look, she wanted it to be, you know, streetwear. It's something that she's always loved, and she wanted to try and elevate it, but still have it be her. And, you know, I see what she's going for, and I do think it's growing on me, but I can't say it's my favorite, to be honest, out of all the promos. It's definitely not bad. Like, none of these looks were bad. But her entrance look, I absolutely love this entrance look. I'd say it's probably my second favorite entrance look out of all of the looks. This screams Monet. This is probably my favorite entrance, period, of the whole franchise. Her being like, Monet changes everything, yes! Like, she always does that, like, yes, and, like, holds out, like, a note with her voice. It's just so funny, and I love to watch it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to enact both of these looks, and I can't wait to see her on this season. I am rooting for her. Now moving on to Jinx Monsoon. From what I've seen, people definitely consider her to be a frontrunner, and that completely makes sense. She was in the top for almost every challenge on her season. And then for these looks, she has definitely stepped up her fashion game. Both looks are very simple, but she looks so great in both of them. You know, for me, this is Jinx on season 5, but polished. She was never a super conceptual queen or really out there. She kind of had that housewife aesthetic going on, and to me, that's what she's selling in these looks. It's just so polished to me. You know, it's not like hokey pokey. You know, we saw her runways in season 5, girl. She was definitely doing the hokey pokey or something. I'm definitely gonna enact these. She looks so beautiful. And to me, I think Jinx is 100% going to be in that top 4 and be a front runner. But she risks being Panginaed or Manila'd or Jimbo'd, whatever you want to call it nowadays. You know, I just feel like I see that for her, and I'm worried for her. If she comes out guns a-blazing, she could put a target on her back very quickly. Alright, moving on to Raja. I am so excited to have Raja back. Like, I honestly forgot how much I loved her on season 3, but watching this Meet the Queens and seeing all of these looks that she brought to her promo and her entrance look, I'm honestly rooting for her. She's definitely a queen who I am looking at. She slayed her season, but honestly, coming back, I feel like the queens are gonna sort of underestimate her and think that she can't keep up with modern Drag Race. So I see her coming back as sort of a dark horse and really proving that she is that bitch to these girls and that she is more than just a fashion queen. You know, this entrance look is iconic, and so was just the entrance in general. Did somebody call for an icon? That is so iconic. I'm gonna be quoting that forever. The feeling I got in my stomach, it was just like, it was like that nostalgia. It was like, oh, a legend has entered the room when Raja entered. And I'm just so excited to see what she does. I'm definitely enacting both of these looks. She has such a unique eye for fashion. Like, it's so different, but it's so chic, and I love it. And lastly, it's the Vivian. Y'all, I am so excited that the Vivian is here. If y'all have not seen Drag Race UK, pause the video right now, come back to it. Don't forget about it, come back. But go back and watch Drag Race UK. In my opinion, it is the best franchise. It is so funny, it is so entertaining. I feel like I just love British people, to be honest. I'm like Brittany Broski. I'm like, oh, I just love British people. Oh, that was the worst accent I've ever heard. I'm so sorry, you guys. But the Vivian absolutely destroyed her season. But I'll be honest, she came off a bit cold on her season. She was hilarious and she slayed all of the challenges. But I feel like the one thing I'd like to see from her is her showing a bit more of her real personality, you know? We've seen her interact with Monet and they have such a good rapport, and she really is so kind. And so I'd like to see that. And once she does that, I think we're really just going to see something that is so special. Let's not forget, she didn't win any prize money on her season. So to be on an American Drag Race and to win challenges and prize money, to me, that's definitely what her storyline is going to revolve around. I wanted to quickly say this. I have seen a lot of people talking about her weight, which is honestly just completely inappropriate, but it baffles me because, first of all, on her original season, I didn't even consider her to be a bigger queen, and she has visibly lost weight since that season. And so I've seen people still saying that she's a plus size queen, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just I honestly have no idea what those people are talking about, and I feel like they are just saying it to trigger her, and that just pissed me off. On to these looks, people have criticized the hair. I absolutely love these foam wigs. They are my favorite, and to me, the foam wig shows off her British camp and humor, but also she has her mug that's just stamped. It is so good. Her mug is really so underrated. As for the entrance look, again, she looks so gorgeous while incorporating a little bit of that British humor, with the horns and the horny joke. Having her here is honestly so interesting to me, and it honestly opens the doors for other international contestants to come over and compete. I am 100% going to have to enact these looks. She's stunning, she's British, she's everything. And lastly, I just want to say I'm really excited to see her and Jinx volley in the Snatch game. I think that's going to be really neat. But yeah, that is all I have for this video today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope maybe you gained a new perspective on All-Stars winners. Not to say that all of you agreed. I'm not sure how many people agree. I just have seen a lot of people talking about why are All-Stars winners here for the all-winner season? This season is going to be so special. And I still can't even believe that we're getting an all-winner season. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you disliked, I guess you can dislike it. It'd be kind of rude, but whatever. Please subscribe if you liked it. I'm going to be posting a lot more content after this. Please leave some suggestions of what you would like to see, and I will try to get to those. Yeah, I think that's all that needs to be said. Leave a comment. Do you think All-Stars winners should have been included? What are your thoughts? Yeah, and with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys all in the next one.